because this team is going to be losing to just about any ghost, psychic, flying, fairy, bug, or poison type Pokemon. What is going on, everyone? Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Rub L, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are featuring a team that has been highly requested since the announcement of Double Kick as a fast move for Season 12, and that team is the Triple Hitmon team. Shadow Hitmonchan in the lead, Hitmontop, and of course everyone's favorite third shield, Hitmonlee, but this time it does have access to Double Kick, which is a massive improvement over both Rock Smash and Low Kick, which means it finally may be able to reach its charge moves, something it failed to do in the past. But will Double Kick be enough to make Hitmonlee more than just a glorified third shield and pick up some wins? Now I can tell you Double Kick did improve one thing. This team used to be rated FFFA and it is now FFDA. We still have that A for consistently bad because this team is going to be losing to just about any ghost, psychic, fairy, flying, bug, or poison type Pokemon, and there are many of those in this meta. If you enjoyed this type of content, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It really helps the channel grow. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So before everyone starts typing in the comments section, what does this team do against this Pokemon, that Pokemon? Let me just put it up here on the screen for you all to see. This team has a lot of weaknesses and a lot of Pokemon that threaten to sweep. And jumping into the very first battle with this team, we are facing off against a poison fairy type Galarian Weezing. This is not the type of Pokemon we want to see with this team, and it's not like swapping out into Hitmontop is going to make this matchup any better, but Hitmontop is the bulkiest of these three options, and it also has access to Gyro Ball, which is a steel type move and would be dealing super effective damage to Galarian Weezing, so hopefully we could at least force a shield here from the opponent, and then I guess we just come in with Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan and proceed to lose this game. Now in a shocking turn of events, and a case of the opponent giving us false hope, they actually decide to double shield. This means that Hitmonchan could come back in, shield up this incoming move, and just pray to the GBL heavens that Hitmonchan can reach this next move and hopefully it's enough to KO. Shadow Thunder Punch coming through, 1 HP and an absolute dream. And the opponent is not playing nice, going for that play rough. You hate to see it. That is going to be overkill. And here comes everyone's favorite third shield, new and improved now with that double kick. Everyone hyping up Hitmonlee at the start of the season, talking about how OP the one named Hitmonlee is going to be. But let's be honest, not much has changed. That was obviously a very difficult lead to come back from, so let's just chalk it up to bad luck, move into the next one, and we got a Galarian Stunfisk. This is what we are talking about right here. The problem with this team is that most of the time when they swap out, we're not going to have an answer. And Tropius is a perfect example of that. Now after forcing a shield with this Ice Punch, I decide to swap out into Hitmontop. I think the better play would have been to actually stay in with the Hitmonchan, try to play out the one shield. We would reach a second Ice Punch before the second move from the Tropius. I did decide to no shield here because it's only a Leaf Blade, and then building up towards the Stone Edge. The other issue with swapping out into Hitmontop is that we sort of give away what type of team we're running here, so the opponent likely assumes that we are weak to flying types, and with a Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, it's very likely that they are running an ABB team with double flyers in the back. And seeing as how the opponent just allowed the Galarian Stunfisk to go down here, I think it's pretty safe to assume the opponent was expecting the best third shield in the game to be hiding in the back, and they are saving that final shield for the Fairy Wind Jump Pluff. And to be honest, this game might not be over yet, but it's going to require perfect timing, and we likely will need to catch a move onto the Hitmonlee, making the most use of that third shield. But I got greedy, thought I could outpace to the Ice Punch, and that means all we have left is Hitmonlee, and it doesn't cope very well with being lonely. Cue the Akon music. We are out here looking like Chelsea in the Champions League. The only difference is that Chelsea drew one of their games. We've lost both of them. So I guess in that sense, we're more like Juventus. GG's to the opponent. Even with a good lead, we end up losing. So let's see if we can make it 3 in a row, and we got a Skarmory lead. It's never fun to see a flying type, however Skarmory is part steel, so it's actually one of the more playable flying types because at least these fighting type moves are dealing neutral damage. We of course swap out into the Hitmontop because Shadow Hitmonchan is just way too glassy as a shadow, but the main takeaway here is that the opponents swapped out with their energy stored, which means they did not force a shield from us. As a result, Hitmontop has an energy lead against this Swampert, and we are actually going to be able to outpace to these moves as a result. This is going to force the opponent to actually double shield their Swampert, and if Hitmonchan could come in here and counter down before they reach a Hydro Cannon, we could be in a pretty good spot. Hitmonchan able to do it, Skarmory going to come back in. We are going to shield this up and of course would outpace to the Thunder Punch, so the opponent swaps out into a Drapion. But we have a Hitmonlee in the back, and relying on Hitmonlee to close out a game is like relying on Timo Werner to get a shot on target. Highly unlikely. This is only an Aqua Tail, so we do survive, and I want to build up to a Thunder Punch before swapping out so we have it ready to go in case of a CMP tie. But believe it or not, it might not be necessary because Hitmonlee, now with double kick, is about to show its worth. Hit him with that. Bang! There it is, Hitmonlee for the first time in history, making history with the Skarmory KO. Triple Hitmon team has won a game. But that celebration is going to be short-lived because we are going up against a massive core breaker here in the form of Medicham. Once again, we have no answer. Opponent here opting for the power-up punch. Makes sense, no need to go for the ice punch or psychic against a Pokemon as weak as this one. And we're actually staying in. Definitely would not outpace to the next move, so I swap out into Hitmonlee. I was going to say I think Hitmontop's the better option, but it's not like any of those two Pokemon beat Medicham anyways. And the opponent swaps out into a Skarmory. Went for the Stone Edge in the hopes that not lowering my defense would allow us to reach a close combat, but that was not the case. And Medicham plus Skarmory has quickly turned this into Hard Counter City, and the opponent is definitely nominating me as the mayor, and unfortunately I am the only one running. But we will not be running from this battle because last time I checked, Manchester United was on a 4-game win streak in the Premier League, so anything is possible. But that's probably a bad analogy because this right here is impossible. Against this team comp, it's like we're playing with 3 Harry Maguires instead of just 1. I swapped into Hitmonchan thinking I had the move ready to go, and that just sums up this battle. We are actually going to lose to a Medicham, just going straight power up punch, not even building to the psychic for the disrespectful BM. Although I guess in a sense, power up punch is kind of BM in itself. 4 battles so far in this set, 3 bad leads. Hopefully we could get a good one. And a Alolan Ninetales is definitely not what we want to see. No charm please. Of course it is. Swap out into Hitmontop. Not like this is any better. And of course the opponent has a Medicham in the back. So if the Alolan Ninetales wasn't bad enough, they also have a Medicham. So this is already 2 Pokemon that none of our 3 Pokemon could defeat. Shadow Hitmonchan comes back in. This could be a psychic, so we are going to shield up. And I'm going to look to overfarm a bit past the Thunder Punch, but I got a little carried away here, not keeping track of the count. I mean, who could blame me with a team this bad? Self bang! There it is. And when your final Pokemon is Hitmonlee, you know the game is basically over. I mean, this game was basically over the moment we saw the Alolan Ninetales, but now they go for the Ice Punch, and then they swap out. At this point, they 100% should be no shielding for the BM Flex, and they're gonna get hit with that Stone Edge. That feels pretty good, but Medicham comes back in, not even able to see what the third and final Pokemon was. That was a very disappointing set, even for a team like this. But we faced a lot of very difficult leads, and you know we have to run it back and hope for better results in set number 2. Alright, so that first set was kind of a nightmare. Let's pretend it never happened, and let's hop into set number 2. Going to put the threats on the screen once again, just to remind you how bad this team is, just in case any of you are still considering to run this team after what you've just witnessed. Let's see if the leads improve in set number 2, and so far the answer is no. Medicham has been torturing us all day, Weak connection isn't nice to see, but in this particular case, it doesn't even matter if we lagged out of the entire match or if we got a game crash, because we're going to lose this matchup either way. Opponent going straight power up punch once again. We are going for a punch of our own. In this case, it happens to be ice, and then we swap out into the Hitmontop. Opponent once again going for a move. This could be a psychic, and we are going to get baited by the power up punch. You hate to see it. They are just going straight pup at this point, which is making things even more annoying. We are going to build up to the close combat, and unfortunately, it does not look like we will be able to reach 2. We get taken out, and now we are forced to come in with the Hitmonlee, and this is looking very bad. These counters are looking like confusions at this point, and another power up punch comes through. Not sure if the opponent stopped attacking there out of pity for us, but we go for the close combat and looking to swap out into the Hitmonchan in order to reset the debuff. They bring in a Talonflame, and that is not what I wanted to see, because that free incinerate is going to be costly, and it now looks like they are purposely not attacking, but we don't care. We're going for that Stone Edge anyways. Bang, there it is. Hitmonlee looking for the carry, but it's a Swampert in the back, and they are back to tapping that screen. I feel like this was a very calculated BM from the opponent, giving us a lot of hope by allowing the Hitmonlee to take out the Talonflame. If we were able to reach a close combat against that Swampert, it does about 75% of its HP. And speaking of Swamperts, here is a Shadow one in the lead, and this is one of the more playable matchups we've seen so far in this video. We could actually win this in the 2 shields, just going straight counter. Of course, we are going to throw an Ice Punch in order to take a shield in return from the opponent, or just take switch right here. The opponent is going to shield, so at this point, we are going to double shield, try to commit to the counter down, but the opponent swaps out into a Dragonite, and this is good night for this team. Ice Punch is going to force the final shield, and we then swap out into Hitmonlee. Once again, I should be coming in here with the Hitmontop, because as you can see, Hitmonlee cannot tank anything. So now it's a pretty rough spot. If we come in with Hitmonchan, we're going to get Dragon Breath down. If we come in with Hitmontop, we're going to get outpaced to a move. So we come in with the Hitmontop, tank this Dragon Claw. We will reach the close combat here, but that's going to put us literally at 1 HP. And the worst part about this is that we can't swap out, and they have a Berserker in the back. We are going to reach this move at the exact same time, and we lose CMP, getting taken out by a resisted foul play. If they did not get that energy lead against the Hitmontop, we would have been able to win this game. Instead, we lose in heartbreaking fashion. Another loss, another GG, and another bad lead in the next battle. Shadow Hitmonchan into Frostlass, another Pokemon we can't really beat with this team. Any move here basically will KO. Shield up this Avalanche, build up towards 2 Thunder Punches. My main hope here is that we could actually force a shield here from the opponent and outpace to the second move before they get to the Avalanche. This looks like it was a CMP tie, and it looks like we did win. Thunder Punch does not take them out, but this is what we wanted, because now we can actually come in and farm down with Hitmonlee, whereas if they did decide to shield, it would be a very difficult position for us to come in here and try to take out that Frostlass. And you could see instantly just how much better Double Kick is, able to get to this Stone Edge so quick, and the opponent doesn't respect it. Bang! There it is. Talonflame, the one getting cooked today by the fire. And it's a Pelipper in the back. This is a team we should never be winning against. Opponent this time using a shield, putting some respect on that Stone Edge. Loose con here is to get hit by the Hurricane, so we are going to shield. And Hitmontop looking at this Pelipper like a toilet. Upset stomach and ready to unload. Bang! There it is. Clean up aisle 4, Hitmontop with the mop. Another big win for the triple Hitmon team. That's only 2 in 8 battles. 25% win rate, not too shabby. Let's hop into the next one. And once again, another bad lead to see with this team. However, Azumarill is part water type, so at least we have the Thunder Punch to deal super effective damage coming from a Shadow as well. So these Thunder Punches are going to absolutely chunk away here at the Azumarill. Opponent decides to no shield the first one. We do outpace to the second move, but they make a great catch onto the Nidoqueen. Imagine if we went for the Ice Punch instead. This right here is absolutely brutal, and once the opponent gets to that Poison Fang, the only hope we have is to somehow survive this and pull off a miracle in the back. I'm not going to waste your time with this one. Welcome to Hard Counter City, population me. Let's hop into the final battle of this set. And for this final battle, we finally have a dominant lead matchup. Shadow Abomasnow, opponent swaps out into a Swampert, and because this Swampert is not a Shadow, this is technically a losing matchup in the 2 shields now for the Shadow Hitmonchan. So this is definitely going to be an uphill battle, and even though we had a dominant lead matchup, all it takes is for the opponent to have one anti-fighter Pokemon in the back, and there will be nothing we can do. In this matchup here against the Swampert, if they decide to double shield here, we'll actually swap out in order to preserve the HP on this Hitmonchan. They instead decide to let it go down, taking the 1 shield advantage and coming in with a Sableye. We bank a move on the Hitmonchan and then swap out into the Hitmontop in order to catch this return. Hitmontop, of course, is pretty bulky, and unlike Hitmonlee, Hitmontop is going to be able to reach this close combat. That's going to force the final shield from the Sableye, and then we come in with the Hitmonlee, and the opponent throws immediately, so this is only a foul play. I think the opponent actually thought this was the Hitmonchan, probably got a little confused, thought we had the Ice Punch ready to go on the Hitmonlee, and that ends up working in our favor because Hitmonlee is able to take them out with the close combat, and now we just need to swap into Hitmonchan, but we clicked the wrong move, going for the resisted Thunder Punch instead of the Ice Punch, which allows Abomasnow to reach a Weather Ball. We are out here trying to throw this game in the final minutes like Tottenham against Sporting, but even more fitting, Hitmonlee with its new move is going to double kick down for the win. Hitmonlee with double kick, although better, still a spice pick, and of course triple Hitmon is a very bad team. It's like running Harry Maguire on, well, I was gonna say striker, but even on defense, it's a pretty bad idea. You know what I mean. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. And if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.